And in case you missed our conversations earlier this week, we talked about the #1 killer of children in our state between 10 and 14 years old is suicide. And while there are several contributing factors to this, experts have been working on prevention. What can parents and the community do to help stop this trend? And that is the focus of today's Deep Dive. It's a segment here on the show where we dive deeper into a topic. Now, there are several components to suicide prevention, but today I want to hone in on one of the major ways. A few months ago, a speaker from UW Forefront Program for Suicide Prevention came to my daughter's school, and I wanted to know, how do we, as much as we can, reduce the risk of a child taking his or her own life? The answer was build resilience. Simply defined, it is a person's ability to adapt to stress and change. But resilience can take different forms. For some, it's choosing to compete at the highest level despite physical limitations. It's focusing on what you can do, like in the case of newly drafted Seahawk Shaquem Griffin, who played in college with one hand. For others, resilience shows up like this.
You can shoot me with your words. You can cut me with your lies. You can kill me with your hatefulness. But just like life, I'll rise.
So how do we build that type of resilience in the young people that we care so much about? To answer that question, I went to Dr. Abby Rosenberg at Seattle Children's. She studies resilience in kids who are facing cancer.
I will tell you, my first thought was that resilience in pediatric cancer is different from resilience after a natural disaster or resilience after a school shooting or whatever other tragedy people are dealing with. I don't think that's the case anymore.
Dr. Rosenberg says resilience is something that can be developed and used for any type of adversity. She says you get it by developing resources. And she laid 3 for us out: individual, community, and beliefs. Individual resources, it's about teaching children what they can do on their own when facing something difficult, stuff like goal setting, coping and stress management skills like deep breathing and mindfulness. Community resources are outwardly focused. Who helps you in hard times, like your peers? Teaching your kids to ask for help and to actually accept the help when they need it. And the third one can be described as beliefs. It's about helping your child find meaning in hard situations. For some, it's grounded in their faith or their purpose. For those who aren't religious, it can be about reframing a situation to focus on something positive.
For some people, this is so powerful. It's the faith, the spirituality. Why do we think this is happening? Similar to what I said before about gratitude and meaning making. What are we going to learn from this? And is there a purpose behind all of this? Which really works for some people and doesn't for others. But that's the point, right? That's the journey, is as a parent and as a family, we got to figure that out, not only for ourselves or for our kids, but also for the group of the family and probably the larger community.
Now, one thing Dr. Abby Rosenberg pointed out is that we tend to get uncomfortable when people around us are sad, especially when that person is our child. We want to protect them and keep them happy. But she says the only way they will build resilience is if we let them experience that sadness and then be there to help guide them towards those resilience resources. Again, the ones they can do themselves, like stress management, the ones that involve reaching out to others when they need it, and then helping them develop a process to find meaning and purpose. Resources are different for everyone. It's about finding the one that works for your child.